Well, howdy there, folks. This is John Pelham. The last time we were together, we were talking about Hank learning about the Beatitudes from the circuit riding preacher. And the preacher had said that when he came back the next time, they would talk about the rest of what's called the Sermon on the Mount, that's called by many to be the real good version of the tenets of Christianity. And so we're tuning in now to Hank as he learns the Sermon on the Mount. Well, it seems like it's been quite a spell since the circuit rider had come through, and Hank had learned about the Beatitudes then and made God's Word seem like brand new. Well, he just got word from the next ranch that the circuit rider was coming back, and Hank was a bunch more questions to how to get back on track. Finally, the preacher gets to Hank's place, and his long-held questions start anew. He wants to learn more about that section that covers the 5th, 6th, and 7th chapters of Matthew. Well, he knows that it includes the Beatitudes, but he suspects that there's a whole bunch more. But when the discussion starts again, he didn't quite know what he was in for. You see, said the preacher, that part's known as the Sermon on the Mount, and it contains the most important part of what Christianity is all about. Now, time didn't allow for a full discussion, so the parson just had to make a start, but he promised to finish it up the next time he was in those parts. Well, let's start with something simple, something that you surely can understand. You got to be the salt lick for the whole world, and you're to provide savor for the land. And remember that song that says, "This little light of mine"? God wants us to be the light of the world, and we're expected to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This next one's kind of a puzzler, because the first part's sure enough true. It says, don't murder nobody. Well, we know that, but the next part's harder to do. He says here, if you let anger boil in you, that's akin to murder, and just don't do it. So if you're mad at somebody for something, think about reconciling and just get right to it. Well, said Hank, you're giving me a whole lot more than I thought for my concern. Just wait, said the preacher. There's a lot more for you to hear and to learn. Jesus goes on, and I'm having to leave out some, talks about how we treat others. You've heard an eye for an eye all your life. He says to give what you got to your brothers. How about love your neighbor and hate your enemy? Jesus turns that right on its cotton-picking ear. He says to love your enemies and pray for them that might cause you to fear. And here's a second part to that. The sun rises on them you love and them that you hate. And he lets the rain fall on the just as well as he lets it fall on the reprobates. Hank says, this is sure a guide from the Lord himself about how we ought to live and how we ought to treat others. It also tells us that we need to be pretty careful and treat folks around us like sisters and brothers. Well, shoot, parson, said Hank when he's through. You made Jesus' teaching sound so real. And you just can't imagine how good your words make this old cowpoke feel. You sure made sense of what he said about how we ought to live and how we ought to treat others. He tells us that our happiness and blessings come from treating everybody like they were our brothers. Don't give me the credit, the parson said. Jesus used that words that people could understand. He spoke in parables, kind of like stories. Of your real life, and he moved among the folks of the land. Now you too, Hank, can lead those you know by sharing what you've learned studying the Word, and by living out his teachings in your life, you'll be doing your part to helping them find the Lord. So Hank has gotten a real good primer on what's some of the most important words in the New Testament. If you kind of need a refreshing of your faith life, just go to the 5th, 6th, and chapter 7th chapters of Matthew, and you'll find out what Hank learned. So long, folks, and I'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching.